My name is Ashley Ballard, and it is a joy to join you on this video. Speaking of joy, I want to talk with you about choosing joy. It is something that requires intentionality, but it's not hard at all because joy is always available to us. It's always easier to pay attention to the negatives of life, and sometimes we do have to do a little bit more work to focus on the positives and identify the strengths that exist around us, especially during a time such as now that we are living through this global crisis and COVID-19 pandemic. But I want you to begin to focus on joyful experiences and practicing gratitude. I want you to think of positive experiences that take place each and every day, even if they're very small. And so one of the ways that you can do this is by recognizing what's going well in your life. Now, you may feel as if there's a lot of things not going well, but remember, I said it's easier to focus on the negatives than it is to identify the positives. You may have to do a little bit of work, but trust me, if you still have breath in your body, there are positives that are taking place around you. And so it just takes a little bit of work. But once you identify them, I want you to actually maybe list out three of those things. And so, what you'll begin to do is stir up gratitude within yourself. And as you stir up this gratitude, you'll begin to see that you're creating room for more gratitude, more positive experiences. And you'll realize that there's joy all around you, joy to be experienced, and joy for you to share. And so, not only are you choosing joy and you're tapping into it and you're grabbing hold of it, but as you pay attention to it for yourself, you're able to extend this joy to those around you as well. And so I want you to give yourself permission to see the upside of things. I feel like during this time, it's almost as if we feel a little guilty, as if maybe joy is not the choice that we should be making right now. Why would we choose joy if there are so many who are hurting around us? I understand that it may be a challenging concept to grab hold of, but when you choose joy, when you are paying attention to these moments of joy that you can experience, you shift yourself from this guilty mindset of where you feel as if you cannot experience joy because there's hardship all around us. And as you shift from guilt and into gratitude, you are able to begin to avail yourself for others who are maybe having a more challenging time than you in this season. So you want to go ahead and give yourself permission to see the silver lining and say, you know what? I can see hope. I'm going to choose to recognize hope. I am going to look through a different lens, and I am not going to be made guilty for being hopeful and being joyful. And as you begin to do that, as you see the joy and you choose the joy, I want you to savor it. Hold on to it and find moments throughout the day, whether they're small or big, and they're not going to always be big. So you're going to have to cherish those smaller moments. And I'll give you an example. Today for myself, I was looking out the window. It rained for a little bit, and it rained hard for maybe all of 10 minutes, and it created puddles. And after the rain had passed, there were a number of tiny little birds that came, and they were giving themselves bird baths. They were flying around and looked as if they were pecking at each other and playing in the water, maybe bathing themselves, caring for themselves. But it was just something so small that put a smile on my face. And I chose in that moment that I was not going to look away. This was a free moment where I was experiencing nature and enjoying nature. I didn't have to pay for that moment. And I watched them just splash around in the water, and it brought me joy. That is an example of a small moment where I chose to embrace that joy, where I chose to pay attention to that joyful opportunity. I didn't have to pay for it. It wasn't something big and grandiose, but it really, did something to my heart. It did something to my mind. But I had to choose. I had to pay attention and see that opportunity and moment of excitement and joy was there for me to experience. So I want to encourage you, don't miss your opportunity to experience joy. It may be just right outside your door, and it may be something as simple as being able to take in a deep breath of this air that no one can charge you for. There's no cost tied to that free air, right? And so your joy may not be the type of joy that experience that I received today, but only you can know. But you also have to pause and you have to pay attention so that you can choose that joy experience that is available to you. And so then lastly, I just want to encourage you to create a gratitude routine. Remember, I said you want to shift from guilt to gratitude if you are experiencing guilt. And in addition, just as you create and stir up gratitude within yourself, you're creating room for more joy and more availing yourself to be able to be in a hopeful place for those around you. And so creating this gratitude practice, right, where you were creating a habit out of expressing gratitude. Maybe you can start a journal. And this journal is simply for you to list out things that you are grateful for. And if it's hard, I want to encourage you to start with just 3 things at a time. Maybe you'll do it first thing in the morning, or maybe you'll go through the entire day and you'll keep it by your bed. And so that at the end of the day, you'll be able to think back on the day that you had and find 3 things that you were grateful for. Now, I want to let you know, putting this to practice does not mean that you are going to ignore the hard things that may happen in any given day, but you are practicing this so that you can remind yourself that even when hard things are happening, even when we experience pain, there's still purpose and there's still joy to be experienced. So I want you to try very hard to identify each day 3 things that you are grateful for, whether it's family, whether it's breath in your body, whether it's in food that you were able to eat. Maybe it's that you were able to pick up the phone and speak to a friend, or maybe it was something that made you laugh. I am telling you, it does not have to be anything big. It doesn't have to be costly. It can be completely free, but try hard, do the work to make sure that you are identifying these moments that are extended to you. Pay attention to the joy and choose the joy, even in this season right now. And I promise you, you will not regret it as you begin to receive more opportunities for joy, more opportunities for gratitude. And you will begin to build yourself up, strengthen yourself so that you can also avail yourself to help them, those who are around you, to be able to do the same.